Welcome back for the final time of the week to the WCL Weekly Fantasy Forecast, the sixth and final installment of the preview for Week 3. Features the 2-0 Drewcrew, owned by Drew McKnight and Drew Meadows, against the 1-1 Supercrew, owned by Craig Jean. The Drewcrew comes into the game as the highest scoring team in the league and are favored by 4 points. I will take those 4 points and pick them as the team to win the game based upon some great matchups they have. It starts with Carson Palmer, who just keeps falling into these amazing matchups to start off the year. The 49ers allow 10.2 yards per attempt, which is worse in the NFL. And Carson Palmer has a 7-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He leads the league in touchdowns, I think. Either Tim and Tom Brady are tied, I believe. But either way, Carson Palmer's having a great start to the season, and it looks to continue at home against San Francisco. Also, AP is got a pretty decent matchup against San Diego. AP he didn't finally get back on track. It's only his second game back, but he got back on track against, who did they play last week? The Lions. They played the Lions last week, and AP had 134 yards rushing and 58 receiving. And expect more of the same. Expect AP to be fed the ball against San Diego, and he may even find the end zone this week. Mark Ingram against the Panthers. I really don't know what to make of this matchup, but it doesn't look like Drew Brees is, if he plays, he's all his shoulders 100%. So they may have to lean on Mark Ingram more than usual, but the Panthers' run defense has been pretty stout so far. And I don't really like this matchup. I don't particularly hate it either. It's one of those things where it can go either way. Julian Edelman, another great matchup against the Jaguars. The Jaguars let Jarvis Landry go off for, I believe he caught 10 for over 100 last week. And Edelman's going to see the targets, and he's going to catch balls because Brady's real accurate. He saw 19 targets last week. I don't know if you can expect 19 balls to be thrown at him again, but, I mean, at least 10, and he's probably going to catch 7 or 8 of them. So, he is what he is. He's a PPR machine. Larry Fitzgerald came out last week and set the world on fire. Turned back the clock a little bit and caught 3 touchdown passes. Not expecting that type of day against San Francisco this week, but he could definitely find the end zone again, and a hookup with Carson Palmer is entirely within reason. And he also he has 3 receivers with amazing matchups. He has Randall Cobb, too, against Kansas City. Kansas City has been lit up by number 1 receivers so far. Demarius got him for 8 and 116 last week. DeAndre Hopkins got him for 9 catches, 98 and 2 touchdowns week 1 with Hoyer and Mallett throwing the ball. And Hoyer and Mallett ain't out there for Green Bay. They ain't suiting up Monday night. It's some other guy who I heard was pretty good. And they're probably going to light up Kansas City. And Randall Cobb looks to have a big day. Also, he's playing Martellus Bennett. I don't particularly like this. Jimmy Clausen's at quarterback. Jimmy Clausen's horrible. The Seahawks are going to destroy the Bears. But if somebody's going to get targeted, it's going to be Martellus Bennett and Alshon Jeffrey, and he has Martellus Bennett. So, on the other side, for the Supercrew, he has Matt Stafford at quarterback, and I do not like Matt Stafford this week. He's banged up, but it appears like he's going to play. However, the Denver defense has surrendered 308 total passing yards in 2 games, no touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. And Stafford traditionally has been horrible against the blitz, and Denver likes to bring pressure. So, not a real good matchup for him. Marshawn Lynch really let me down last week. I was all over Marshawn Lynch, and he only had 41 yards rushing. But he comes right back into another pretty good matchup as the Bears look to be real bad. And they're at home, and they're mad, and they're 0-2. And they're probably going to have a lead in the second half, so they're going to give him the ball a bunch. Ideally, you would think. So it looks to be a pretty good matchup there. Chris Ivory against Philadelphia. The stats say Philadelphia's only giving up 3.1 yards per rush. I mean, so I guess it's true, but I just don't trust that they can withstand the way the Jets want to pound them with the run. He did give most of the work to Bilal Powell on Monday night. They looked to rest him. And actually, he didn't practice today, which is Thursday. So, his status may be up in the air. So, we may have to keep that in mind. A.J. Green against the Ravens. I mean, Michael Crabtree lit up the Ravens last week. So, why can't A.J. Green? It seems to be a pretty decent matchup. Vincent Jackson against the Texans. Jameis, well, with Austin Seferian-Jenkins down, who was seemingly one of Jameis's favorite targets, that could see an uptick for Jackson. But Mike Evans is back too, so and maybe that'll take some of the pressure away from him he's been seeing the first 2 weeks. Golden Tate goes back to the Stafford thing. The Broncos looking real good on defense right now, but the Lions do throw 73% of the time, so somebody's got to see these targets, and it can't be all Calvin. So Golden Tate, he'll see some targets, but the question is, what can he do with them? And finally, Devontae Freeman, he's filling in for the injured Tevin Coleman. Dallas has looked really good against the run so far. I'm not expecting much out of Devontae Freeman. So, also he has Steven Gostkowski kicking, always a good option. And yeah, so that does it for this week. Be sure to tune in next week when Cash comes back from Florida and we go back over these games and preview some of the games for next week. Until then, see you later.